The issue is this identity of who we are. And we have to get Africans to understand you got to leave your African worldview to become a citizen of heaven and have a heavenly worldview. But to do that, I've got to show Africans that I've left an American worldview. And that's a challenge every day, to show that I'm not saying the way to heaven is through America and American thinking, Western thinking. Yes, the African community is been raised differently. It's more oral culture. There's traditions. There's things that are valued very differently in those things. But like a Western worldview as well, it is skewed. It's broken. So an African worldview is broken as a Western worldview is broken. And so the key is to focus on 2 Corinthians 10, verse 5, to understand that we must just go to battle with every stronghold in our mind and take the captive every thought, and to understand that they got to keep breaking down their worldviews every day. And so it's to get the African to understand he's no different than anybody else, no different than me. We have the same struggles. And now through Scripture, we are actually, as it says, as Paul tells us in Romans chapter 8, we're more than conquerors and citizens of heaven, to actually see something beyond. Because in Africa, there's such a difficulty in economics, and lifestyle, and there's such poverty along with such wealth, and to tell people this is not, you don't want anything you can spend on this earth. You want something that's going to last eternity, and have them be able to see that with spiritual eyes. Worldview is what you have to break down, but you can't break it down. You've got them to break it down for themselves and get them to see it. That's the challenge. Is they have to do the work. It's kind of like, in today's world, the dad watching his kid play in Little League or soccer, I'm sorry, but he's got to play the game. The dad can't play it for him. You got to do it. And that's where we are, saying they've got to do it. That's the biggest issue in Africa. Pray to be able to stay focused and not get distracted. It's the same prayer for most any pastor. It's so easy to get distracted. And it's easier to get distracted because so many things come at you that you're not familiar with from growing up. And so everything becomes critical because you begin to think, oh, that must be critical. You realize, no, in context, it's not really that big a deal. Just let that go. And so it's so easy to get really sucked into things personally there because you're learning in the culture. You become just blood brothers with these people. And to realize they're no different than people in Idaho or here. They're the same, with the same issues in heart. And so we just pray that we can stay on task. It is so encouraging to hear from you, questions, even what's happening to get me to think, wait a minute, let me stop and be able to communicate and to tell you what's going on. There's nothing greater that can encourage me, myself, than interest by people in what the Lord is doing, and to actually stay focused on that interest, because it's so encouraging to understand somebody saying, yeah, and the last time I talked to you, you said this. How is that going? Oh, man, somebody's actually really into this. I'm not alone. People are in this with me. The feeling of being alone, even if you're fully supported, is there. But when people are with you and they can even know some of the names of the people you've talked about and what your initiatives are, and to follow, man, there's nothing greater than that. That really shows that the Lord is working with one people, one ministry, one kingdom.